All right, everybody, welcome back to another week of NFL picks. Looking to bounce back. We took last week off, didn't have time to make the video. Had a great Thanksgiving day, not a great Sunday following Thanksgiving, but hopefully you guys are stuck with the Thanksgiving picks. Going to bounce back this week. There's going to be a theme. We'll get into a little bit of that later. But we'll start things off with Kansas City, favored by 10 over Las Vegas. I think I'm going to stick with Kansas City. They're playing a lot better now on this winning streak. Las Vegas is teetering a little bit. Not going to have Darren Waller. Kansas City tends a lot, but I think you take Kansas City minus 10 there. The Saints favored by 5 over the Jets. I think there's going to be a tendency to pick the Jets in this one because the Saints have been both so bad recently. But if you look at their schedule, they played some really tough opponents in there. The Bills, the Cowboys, the Titans when they were a little healthier. So the Saints haven't exactly been losing to bad teams. There's a few iffy losses in there to the Eagles and Falcons as well. One of those came on the road. The Saints going into New York, playing against the Jets. I understand people are going to want to give the Jets a mulligan here, give them a win here. The Saints have had themselves tested over the last 2 weeks with the Cowboys and Bills, getting an easier opponent. I think that's going to help them out. I think Saints minus 5 is a good bet. San Francisco minus 1.5 going to Cincinnati. I'm going to take Cincinnati in this one. I think the Bengals are a little bit better. I think that the 49ers are getting some buzz. They've come back on a little bit. They're making a real run at the wild card in the NFC. But the Bengals have just been the better team all season. I think getting 1.5 at home is too much, so you got to take the Bengals in this one. Jacksonville, Tennessee favored by minus 8.5. Tennessee looking to bounce back as well. Coming off that bye week, some time to recover. I think that this line is too low for considering how much better the Titans are than the Jaguars. Yes, the Titans lost to the Patriots, but the Patriots are a really good team. Even with their injuries, I think there's a tendency to think, oh, well, Titans are banged up. It's going to be closer. No, the Titans, even with their injuries, they have a good structurally sound team. So I think minus 8, too low, especially with all the turmoil going on with Jaguars. Minus 8.5. I'm taking the Titans minus 8.5 in that one. Browns favored by 2.5 over the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. Yes, the Ravens are more banged up. They're missing Marlon Humphrey for the season now. But at the end of the day, the Browns can't take advantage of that. They don't have the weapons on the outside. Baker Mayfield hasn't been good enough this season. And I think the running game, if the Ravens just focus on the run, they're going to win this one again. Lamar Jackson threw a bunch of picks last time, and they still won. I think that the Ravens are going to easily take this one. So take that plus 2.5 to the bank. Atlanta, Carolina. Carolina favored by minus 2.5. I'm going to take Atlanta in this one. I think Carolina's been struggling too much, especially with their quarterback position. The fact that they're favored in this game does surprise me. I think that the Falcons are going to find a way to get their offense moving, get back into that wild card race, and really put themselves in position to maybe make a little bit of a run here. So Falcons plus 2.5. I'm taking that. Dallas minus 4.5 against Washington. Too low. Dallas is too talented for this line to be this low. I think they're vastly superior to Washington. So Dallas minus 4.5, taking that all day. Seahawks minus 8.5 over the Texans. I'm going to take the Texans in this one. I understand the Texans are not a good football team, but Seattle isn't either. Seattle shouldn't be favored minus 8.5 over anybody. I don't care who it is right now. You can't favor them by that much in any game they play in. They're just not a good football team at the end of the day, and that's what it comes down to. So especially the fact that they're going to be on the road, on top of that, like Seattle can't be getting that much against anybody. It's ridiculous. I don't care if it is the worst team in the league or one of the worst teams, down there. So speaking of the worst team in the league, Detroit Lions and Denver Broncos. Broncos plus 10. They're Broncos favored by minus 10, I should say. I'm going to take the Lions plus 10, though. I really think the Lions have played a lot of games close this year. It seems like every game has been back and forth, get their first win last week. I think that they're going to be able to hang with Denver. I don't know that Denver's a really great football team. They've been really inconsistent all season long. So Detroit plus 10, I'm taking that. Denver might win, but it'll at least be close. The Giants and Chargers. Chargers minus 9. You take the Chargers in this one. The Chargers are going against the backup quarterback. Justin Herbert's been playing better and better. Keenan Allen being out is going to hurt a little bit, but I'm not too concerned with it. Chargers minus 9. That's the pick. Buffalo, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay favored by minus 3.5 at home. You go Buffalo in this one. I think you go Buffalo in this one because if you look at all of Buffalo's losses this season, they've always bounced back. They have not lost 2 in a row all season. Bills lose the opener to the Steelers, come back the very next game, blow out the Dolphins 35-0. They lost to the Titans by 3, come out the very next game against the Dolphins again, 26-11. Wasn't close. You lose to the Jaguars 9-6. Tough loss for them. Come out next week, play the Bills 45-17. Play the Jets, I should say. Bills play the Jets 45-17. They lose to the Colts. Jonathan Taylor runs all over them 41-15. They lose. Come out the next week on Thanksgiving take it to the Saints 31-6. So last week's loss to the Patriots means it's time for a bounce back. The offense will feel a little bit looser. They'll come out with something to prove, as they always do. They're a little bit angry after those press conferences. So Bills, even though it's Brady and Brady dominates the Bills, I'm taking the Bills in this one. Plus 3.5. I think that's a great pick. Great get to get that number. Green Bay, Chicago Green Bay minus 12 in this one. I'm taking Chicago plus 12 because the Packers, I don't think their offense at the end of the day is good enough to give them that big of a spread. And I understand over the last few weeks, it's picked up a little bit, 36 against the Rams, 31 against the Vikings in the loss. But their offense is still about middle of the pack, 15th in points per game in the league. And even with Aaron Rodgers, they were only putting up around in the mid-20s. And at the end of the day, I think that Chicago is going to be able to do something about that. They're not quite a bottom 10 defense. And I think their offense will at least hang in there. So 12, it's the biggest line of the week. I'm not, I'm going to take the points there. So I think Chicago's a little bit better of a football team than they've shown. So I'm going to take plus 12 there. I think that's pretty fair. And then the final game on the schedule, the Rams and the Cardinals, game of the week, Monday night. It's going to be a great one. Arizona minus 2. And I'm going to take Arizona. The Rams have struggled here a lot recently. They had that 3-game losing streak. They go in, they beat the Jaguars. It's like, congratulations, throw yourself a parade to beat the Jaguars. But I think that Matthew Stafford's problems are very, very real. You have to be very concerned about that. Last time these two teams played in October, Cardinals went into LA, beat the Rams 37-20. I expect something along those lines again in this game. I just don't think the Rams, with all their injuries, Robert Woods is out now. Obviously, that happened a few weeks ago. Matthew Stafford a little dinged up. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. So I'm going to take the Cardinals minus 2. Those are the picks for this week, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully we make some money this week. We'll see you next time.